inadequacy of raw materials we will have to deal with if we are to solely rely on these women. We have broken an agreement with the Ministry of Environment in Kaduna State, who will now ensure that a portion of the over 400,000 tons of plastic waste generated annually in Kaduna State find their way to POP Industries.
In a bid to accomplish a zero waste process, we're implementing a collection system of retrieving used cans from our customers by creating an incentive for every can returned. This will prevent environmental pollution, reduce cost of production, and improve customer relationships.
Together with the University Health Service, we carried out a waste management sensitization program in Zaria. They now identify plastic waste management as an extra source of income.
We have told you about POP polish. Now, let us tell you about POP board.
15 billion trees are cut down for construction and production of human clay. 5 billion of these are used for furniture making. And by 2050, this will mean 140 billion trees will have been cut down for comfort's sake. Now, this is where POP board comes in.
POP boards are made from plastic waste and rice husk. They will serve as an alternative to conventional particle boards used in construction and furniture making. They are stronger and more durable when compared to conventional particle boards.
With a 60/40 ratio, a 2x1 meter POP board contains 23.8 kilograms of plastic waste and 15.9 kilograms of rice husk. We partner with Niles to create, mold, and fabricate our boards. Our eco-friendly boards will be launched into the market in the first quarter of 2023.
We set a POP club in high schools across Zaria with plans to move beyond. We are teaching students about plastics, how to properly dispose them, and do-it-yourself designs they can make out of PET bottles. We've educated over 1,500 students this year alone.
At the 55th year anniversary of Kaduna State, POP Industries was invited to lecture and exhibit over 200,000 people at the STEM and Creativity Festival in May 2022. This prompted CASUDEP to open talks with us, giving us access to establish POP clubs in over 3,000 schools across Kaduna State, reaching over 1.5 million students.
To give back to its host community, POP Industries on the 19th of April carried out a food support program in 3 communities across Kaduna State, sharing basic food items to the impoverished of these communities. We impacted a total of 200 people. We also have future plans to remove 3 cents from every can sold to put into developmental projects in these communities.
And this Enactus here, we've invested over 15,000 volunteer hours. It has initiated the creation of a new social enterprise.
Increase plastic waste awareness in Kaduna State.
Enlightening over 100 schools across Kaduna State.
Directly impacted over 1,560 people and indirectly impacted over 400,000 people.
Creating job opportunities for 55 youths and women who are collectively earning $900 monthly.
We have generated over $8,000 in revenue, making POP Industries a self-sustaining social enterprise.
Save the planet from over 69 kilograms of plastic waste and 200 kilograms of CO2 emissions.
And addressing 8 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
And by the end of this year, we'll generate over $7,000 in revenue.
At Enactus ABU, we believe taking entrepreneurial leadership is not talking, but taking the lead.
So, dear distinguished judges, again, I have to ask you, when you look at plastic waste, what do you see?
Can the team of Nigeria please confirm if they can hear our live feed?
Yes, we can hear you.
We will begin the question and answering period. We are so sorry for the inconvenience. We are going to replay the presentation so everybody you can enjoy the actual presentation that was presented with the correct audio.
Distinguished judges, when you look at plastic waste, what do you see? Do you see an object of environmental degradation, a major contributor to climate change, and a threat to life below water? Or do you see a unique opportunity to create a whole new industry and an economic ecosystem that creates jobs, creates wealth, improves the livelihood of indigent people while ensuring environmental sustainability and preservation for generations yet unborn? What do you see?
For us at Enaxis ABU, we choose to see opportunities for human advancement, for the creation of an industry that protects the environment while creating jobs, wealth, and improving the living standard and economic well-being of the people.
Inspired by this vision and possibility, we took action. Now let us tell you this story from the very beginning.
This is a story of over 15,000 volunteer hours with over 400,000 direct and indirect impact that has bettered a social enterprise.
There are over 17 million tons of plastic waste generated annually in sub-Saharan Africa, with Nigeria contributing over 2.5 million tons to these waste. And as though that isn't bad enough, Nigeria has an acute supply of potable drinking water, as more than 86% of the over 200 million Nigerians have no access to pipe-borne water.
To solve this problem of lack of access to safe drinking water, Nigerian entrepreneurs created sachet water, popularly known as pure water. Pure water is relatively safe for drinking and a lot more affordable to the common man. Expectedly, the pure water business soon became a growing industry with a minimum of $1 billion annually. Sadly, while the water problem was solved, the system created over 600,000 kilograms of plastic waste daily. Yes, you heard me right. Over 600,000 kilograms of plastic waste daily.
With over 600,000 kilograms of plastic waste, products worth over $119,000 can be produced and 800 people gainfully employed. To achieve this, we created a social enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, POP Industries.
POP, Plastic Upcycle Products, an incorporated social enterprise that completes the otherwise non-existent life cycle of plastics by taking them from the environment and transforming these plastics into products of higher value.
POP Industries is creating varieties of products such as the POP Shoe Polish and POP Boards, with our flagship product in the POP Shoe Polish.
Interesting to note also is that our POP Polish is the first ever made in Nigerian shoe polish and first eco-friendly polish in the world.
First, the plastic waste are collected from the environment, sorted, cleaned, and shredded. The shredded plastic waste are then heated up and used to make wax. The wax is then mixed with chemicals and used in the production of shoe polish. In comparison, conventional shoe polish contains 30% wax and 70% solvent. A kind of POP shoe polish replaces the 30% paraffin wax found in conventional shoe polish with our plastic wax.
After over 100 experiments, our product was finally endorsed by the Standard Organization of Nigeria and considered fit for the market.
We conducted market survey and found that over 50 million people use shoe polish daily in Nigeria. The available market for shoe polish is valued at $84 million with a current service market of $41 million. POP Polish is addressing $2.7 million of the total available markets. Our target market remains the military and paramilitary bodies, school children, and corporate workers.
The cost of each can stands at 53 cents and is sold at 70 cents, earning us a profit margin of 24%. We sell directly to retailers and stores in Zaria and Kaduna states. As part of our market strategy, we're utilizing social media platforms, and within the last year have accumulated over 200,000 media impressions.
We have a production capacity of 5,000 cans monthly. Since the year began, we've sold over 2,000 cans, generating us a revenue of over $1,600. We've removed over 9 kilograms of plastic waste and saved the planet from over 26 kilograms of CO2 emissions.
Then we faced challenges. Due to the rising insecurities in Kaduna State, Our production factory was broken, and production equipment cutted away with. Cost of production was also a big problem, and we needed to find ways to fabricate our cans at a cheaper price.
First, to get a new production site, we took advantage of our partnership with the International Center of Excellence for Rural Finance and Entrepreneurship, which got us a bigger and better production factory. This has increased our production capacity to 10,000 cans monthly.
To move fast in the market, we introduced our e-commerce site where customers can make bulk orders of our products with direct buyers to stores where they can get our product.
We then opened talks with Dicon, who will be taking responsibility of fabricating our cans locally. When implemented, this will cut down production costs by a stupendous 64%.
In June 2022, we got a deal with Ahmadu Bello University, which has over 5,000 security personnel. This agreement mandates the university to purchase at least a can of shoe polish for each of its security personnel, guaranteeing us an order of over 4,000 cans monthly, which will generate a revenue of over $2,800.
As the only college funded in Nigeria today, I want to decree that every we should be using this policy.
We also got a deal with NAPES Kaduna, who has endorsed our product and will now start distribution to Batowa School of Military Police and Jaji Military Cantonment in Kaduna State.
We're securing a store at the Army Military Depot, Zaria, to sell pop polish. Our polish is now available in 10 more stores, making a total of 10 civilian stores across Zaria and 6 stores in Kaduna Town. In addition, we're taking advantage of the Nigerian Local Content Act as amended in 2010, which advises government bodies to use a locally made product ahead of imported products. This gave us an opportunity to open talks on a public-private partnership with Dicon and the Ministry of Defense to acquire a portion of the market in the military and paramilitary sector.
Using our current sales channels, the demand from customers put us on track to generate a revenue of $7,000 by the end of 2022. In 2023, we will upscale production by 200% and expand our reach of dispense sectors outside Kaduna State. We'll move into Afik, NAPEX, and stores in neighboring states.
We have initiated talks with Sahad stores to have pop polish in all their stores across 11 states in northern Nigeria, as well as El Jahab and Ludoni, who are military contractors that supply kits and essentials to the military. We've been receiving orders from distributors in Ghana, India, and Sweden, and are working towards international distribution.
We're in talks with Spar and ShopRite. Both are leading supermarket franchises across Africa. By the end of 2023, we project to generate a revenue of over $200,000 using our expanded reach and new sales channels, saving the planet from 1.44 tons of plastic waste and 4.2 tons of CO2 emissions.
We trained 20 women from Samaru community on the collection, sorting, and cleaning of our raw materials. Now, these women, like Hawa Yahaya, who has 11 children with no steady means of income and recurring malaria infections, has now started getting wages. Hawa now has something to look forward to. Support her husband in the running and the funding of the day-to-day expenses, which has increased her earning by over 37%. And together with the University Health Service, we are sensitizing these women on personal hygiene, environmental sanitation, and the effects of indiscriminate disposal of waste in their community.
Yauwa an raba mu da bola an taimaka ma kasa yau kuma an taimaka mini gaba ɗaya.
We've partnered with ISEF and SMIDA to train these women and have trained at Rick's Youth in Samaru community who would work under various units of the company like production, distribution, and grassroots sales. We're giving these youth an opportunity to earn wages for themselves. One of such grassroots sellers is Abigail, a mobile trader who sells an average of 4 cartons weekly within the university community.
Well aware of the inadequacy of raw materials we will have to deal with if we are to solely rely on these women, we have broken an agreement with the Ministry of Environment in Kaduna State, who will now ensure that a portion of the over 400,000 tons of plastic waste generated annually in Kaduna State find their way to pop industries.
In a bid to accomplish a zero waste process, we're implementing a collection system of retrieving used cans from our customers by paying an incentive for every can returned. This will prevent environmental pollution, reduce cost of production, and improve customer relationships.
Together with the University Health Service, we carried out a waste management sensitization program in Zaria. They now identify plastic waste management as an extra source of income.
We have told you about pop polish. Now, let us tell you about pop board.
15 billion trees are cut down for construction and production of human-made clay. 5 billion of these are used for furniture making. And by 2050, this this will mean 140 billion trees will have been cut down for comfort's sake. Now, this is where pulpboard comes in.
Pulpboards are made from plastic waste and rice husk. They will serve as an alternative to conventional particle boards used in construction and furniture making. They are stronger and more durable when compared to conventional particle boards.
With a 60/40 ratio, a 2x1 meter pulpboard contains 23.8 kilograms of plastic waste and 15.9 kilograms of rice husk. We partner with Niles to create, mold, and fabricate our boards. Our eco-friendly boards will be launched into the market in the first quarter of 2023.
We started Pop Club in high schools across Zaria with plans to move beyond. We're teaching students about plastics, how to properly dispose them, and do-it-yourself designs they can make out of PET bottles. We've educated over 1,500 students this year alone.
At the 55th year anniversary of Kaduna State, Pop Industries was invited to lecture and exhibit over 200,000 people at the STEM and Creativity Festival in May 2022. This prompted Castlebed to open talks with us, giving us access to establish pop clubs in over 3,000 schools across Kaduna State, reaching over 1.5 million students.
To give back to its host community, Pop Industries on the 19th of April carried out a food support program in 3 communities across Kaduna State, sharing basic food items to the impoverished of these communities. We impacted a total of 200 people. We also have future plans to remove 3 cents from every can sold to put into developmental projects in these communities.
And this enactors here, we've invested over 15,000 volunteer hours. It has initiated the creation of a new social enterprise.
Increase plastic waste awareness in Kaduna State.
Enlightening over 100 schools across Kaduna State.
Directly impacted over 1,560 people and indirectly impacted over 400,000 people.
Creating job opportunities for 55 youths and women who are collectively earning $900 monthly.
We have generated over $8,000 in revenue, making Pop Industries a self-sustaining social enterprise.
Save the planet from over 69 kilograms of plastic waste and 200 kilograms of CO2 emissions.
And addressing 8 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
And by the end of this year, we'll generate over $7,000 in revenue.
At Naxos ABU, we believe taking entrepreneurial leadership is not talking, but taking the lead.
So, dear distinguished judges, again, I have to ask you, when you look at plastic waste, what do you see?
The presentation has now ended. We will begin the question and answer period. Does any of the judges have any questions?
Good morning. Well, it's morning on this side of the earth. I just had a question. When you talk about indirect impact, what is that and how do you measure it?
Okay, so the indirect impacts, these are the people that have, how do I put it now, indirect benefits from indirect contact with the project. Talk about the benefit, the family members of the direct beneficiaries and the people whom this project has in one way or the other improved their finances or their standards of living without a direct contact. So we are looking at the dependence of the people that we've impacted directly, and we're looking at the general public whom we have helped in reducing the amount of money they spend on polishing, purchasing this shoe polish and purchasing other things. We're looking at the other businesses that we've worked with, talk about logistics and transportation that we've worked with in building up this project. So it has impacted their businesses, but not directly. And people whom we've also impacted in terms of knowledge-wise in being able to do something meaningful, impactful in terms of shoe polish making or plastic recycling generally.
Thank you very much. Just a
welcome.
follow-up question. With regards to your annual report, it shows that your revenue generated for this year was $8,000, and it's projected to be $150,000 next year. So
Yes.
you guys did also mention that your profit margin, which I presume is your GP, is at 24%. With regards to being able to develop all that scale that you guys had articulated in your presentation, is there kind of any efficiencies in terms of development, in terms of those margins, and what do those margins also look like at an operating level?
So could you come again with the question?
All right, so you articulated the plan, a growth plan between now and next year through your video and your details. Your gross profit margin was 24%. I just wanted to kind of get an understanding in terms of all that scale and throughput to get to those significantly higher levels of revenue. Is there enhancement? Is there going to be a margin enhancement, or it's going to be the same?
Okay. So we're going to improve on our production. We're definitely going to improve on our production in terms of getting new machineries and automated machineries to increase capacity of production. We are working with several franchises like Spar and ShopRite in getting larger markets for our polish, so that we don't just produce and keep, we produce and sell. And looking at getting orders from international countries like Ghana and Kenya, for instance. We are also working on international distribution to increase the market so that we can reach a larger market. So first things first is we are going to be improving on our production techniques so that we have a higher efficiency of production and have higher capacity of production per time. And then we're also going to be increasing our market reach, so we have a wider market, serviceable markets to reach out to. So yeah, we have plans definitely for that. Thank you very much.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, congrats on your presentation.
Hello.
And
Thank you.
your social impact. So my question is, basically I wanted to know a little bit about how did it come up, that idea of creating a shoe polish as your product?
Okay, thank you very much. First, there is no made in Nigerian shoe polish. And looking at the amount of plastic waste that we have with nothing that is being done about it, or very little being done about it. After hours, hundreds of hours of research, thousands of hours of research, we found we could make shoe polish from this. We are making the first made in Nigerian shoe polish, the first eco-friendly shoe polish, cleaning our society and environment, providing job opportunities, and also making more money, increasing the GDP of the country by having a Nigerian-made shoe polish.
I am sorry, but the time has expired. Judges, please join me thanking the team of Nigeria, their presentation and hard work. Judges, please help me welcome the team of China. They're presenting in person today. There's 1 minute before the presentation begins. Ten seconds for the presentation to begin. You may now begin your presentation.
Good morning, everyone. So before starting the presentation, I'd like to ask all of you a question. So have you ever counted how many pairs of shoes do you have in your shoe cabinet? 5, 10, or like even more? Every time when you open your shoe cabinet, have you ever thought to yourself that, wow, there's a lot of shoes to choose from, but every time when you go out and shop, you just wanted more. By this never-ending desire, we are actually creating pollution every single day. And these are the other resources left in the society that are never going to be resolved. While we as Oxfam and Red Cross and helping the children getting a good pair of shoes in the extreme poverty city, it seems to be a very distant problem. Yet it is very close to us too. In a highly developed city like Hong Kong, there are children experiencing the same problem, but who are there to help them? In Hong Kong, there are currently NGOs tackling the 4 walks of life, yet they focus more on the 3 larger aspects, namely food, housing, and transport. We do not deny that there are NGOs recycling shoes and clothing, but we ask, what after recycling? From the statistic, more than 97% of the recycled products are not circulated in Hong Kong, which means local low-income families are not benefiting from the recycling cycle, getting little resources. While shoes and clothing, in particular children's shoes, is actually a heavy burden for low-income family. As children has high growing pace, they actually outgrow their shoes on an average of every 6 months, and they will have to change shoes 2.69 times per year. And more than 60% actually changes more than 2 times per year. So try to imagine a 3-person family in Hong Kong living around the poverty line. 3.5% of their income is actually spending on clothing and footwear, which 20% of their monthly income has already taken if they purchase a basic pairs of toddlers only. It's a total of 1.8 times of other aspects. So shoe is definitely a heavy burden for low-income families in Hong Kong. So as a result, they either purchase extra large size shoes so their children can wear for a longer time, or purchase shoes of very low quality with a cheap price and change it as a more frequent way. So either way, it harms the children's health or increase the shoe disposal rate. While shoe in particular, throughout their whole value chain, it actually generates a lot of pollution. From manufacturing to logistics and decomposing them, not only it emits greenhouse gases, but it takes decades to decompose, polluting land and water. Well, another factor contributing to high shoe disposal rate has been Chinese traditional perception. As Chinese saying goes, 衣貴潔，不貴華 and 莫笑窮人穿破衣. Second-hand clothes has been perceived as unhygienic and embodiment of poverty. Yet, surprisingly, through our research, we found that currently, like nowadays, more than 50% of Chinese has higher acceptance towards second-hand goods, and even 90% of them are willing to wear second-hand shoes as long as they are hygiene and clear, thoroughly disinfected. And so we ask ourselves, how may we reduce waste while reduce the financial burden of low-income family, providing a better growing environment for the next generation? And may we now present you a mutual beneficial movement that interrupts the current child footwear market. We want to share hope and opportunities to everyone by shoes. By bringing together three main stakeholders, decent paid families, low-income families, and the marginalized group, we want to create a local community. So for these main three stakeholders, decent paid families are considered as a subscriber. They will pay an annual subscription fee to join our program. And they are families with kids of 3 to 15 years old. And we consider them as more financially capable, more willing to do good and to help construct a local community. While for our primary beneficiaries, the low-income families in Hong Kong, they are the group of low-income families with children of 3 to 15 years old entitled to the Comprehensive Social Security Assistance, CSSA, and assistance provided by Hong Kong government due to their low income level. While our secondary beneficiaries will be the marginalized group, including mentally disadvantaged, underemployed, and the housewives. So providing a high level of our whole program. So first of all, we collect donations of shoes from public and chain retail stores. Then our secondary beneficiaries, which are the marginalized group, they will help clean the shoes, disinfect them, and to quality check them before putting them into our pool of shoes. Then we will redistribute the shoes to our subscribers and beneficiaries respectively. When the shoes become misfit, both subscribers and our beneficiaries can contact us and we'll provide them a new pairs of fit size shoes to them. While the previous old pairs will be collected and bring to our disinfection center for cleaning and disinfection by our secondary beneficiaries again, and then it will go into our pools of shoes and being redistributed to different stakeholders. To be financially sustainable, we will also be offering shoe washing service to the public, charging them $100 per pair. So diving deep into the subscriber perspective, they pay a 500 Hong Kong dollar low price, and they'll be entitled to 2 pairs of shoes annually, as well as 2 free shoe washing service of any kind at any time. So they will first receive their first pair and they can call us for a new pair when their children outgrow their shoe size, and we will collect the previous misfit pair and bring it to our disinfection center, clean it and disinfect it, and put it back into our pool of shoes. While for our primary beneficiaries, the low-income group, they can join our program totally for free. So they will be entitled to 2 pairs of shoes annually, but we charge them nothing. So they don't have to pay a penny for that. Same as subscribers, they are also entitled to 2 pairs of shoes annually, and we'll collect the misfit pairs when their children outgrow their shoe size, provide them a new pairs of shoes, and bring the previous pairs to clean and disinfect it and redistribute it again. So in short, we are proposing a never-ending cycle. We collect shoes, we redistribute them, we recollect the misfit pairs, and we recondition them, and we reallocate to other stakeholders. And the cycle goes on and on. So actually with one price, you are buying 4 pairs of shoes annually, but supporting the dream of 2 children. Through our whole program, we want to bring right to our key beneficiaries, supporting them both financially and physically. So first of all, in terms of subscribers, like providing them 2 pairs of shoes with a $500 low price, of course, reduce their expenses on this fast-changing item. We also provide them an opportunity to help do good to the society by reducing pollution and waste together. But most importantly, parents as a role model of children, they are doing a good role model in educating their children on cherishing their resources and to support each other in the local community. While for our primary beneficiaries, the low-income group, providing them 2 pairs of good quality sneakers annually definitely reduce their burden. So we also guarantee their children's health by providing good quality pairs of shoes to reduce the potential health risk of wearing like oversized shoes or like very low quality shoes. And at last, by employing the marginalized group like housewives of mentally disadvantaged person, we are providing them an extra working opportunity and teach them and assist them with transferable skills for their future development. So all in all, we want to let every stakeholder in the community know they are not only being valued and bringing value to the society, but value lies inside themselves. So since October 2021, we have already educated 2,000 families on sustainable consumption and successfully recruited 80 families, a total of 90 children as our first batch of subscribers. More than 80% of students reported to us that they are more environmentally conscious when our programs introduced. We have also provided high quality pairs of shoes to 90 children in low-income families, while exploring the potential of mentally disadvantaged people and providing opportunities to them, which an opportunity might be all he needs to prove his value and contribute to the society. So here are some feedbacks from our subscribers and low-income families, and our team are very glad that actually a pair of sneakers can indeed bring happiness and hope to children. In terms of environmentally speaking, we have also expanded the lifespan of shoes from 6 months to 2 years and fully utilized each pair of idle shoes and redistribute it for 3 times before dumping it. In terms of stakeholder acquisition, we are currently partnering with different local schools and for subscribers. So we are currently partnering with 4 local schools, identifying social conscious, decent paid families to be our subscribers. While for beneficiaries and our employees, we are partnering with local NGOs so they can refer cases to us and we can provide support to them. Being first in Hong Kong starting this shoe redistribution program, we will continuously expand in terms of location as seen from the Hong Kong map. We will be partnering with more schools in different districts, identifying more potential subscribers. While we will also try expanding in terms of channel partners, connecting the CSR department of local chain retail stores, seizing the help in collecting old pairs of shoes from the public, as well as explore the potential of collaborating with them and donate their off-season pairs of shoes to us into our pool of shoes to redistribute to more people. Before ending, I would like to share a real life story with you all. So this is one of our low-income families, and he is Chen, a 14-year-old grade A student in Hong Kong. His family has been living under the poverty line, and his brother is a very talented athlete. But to his family, buying 4 pairs of shoes annually is way too burdensome. Chen clearly knows that his family is poor, and he dare not ask for more, but he can only wear his brother's oversized shoes, although it hurts him sometimes. And of course, as a young teenager, he compares himself with others, so as with his brothers. But a local NGO referred his case to us, and we provided his first pairs of white sneakers to him this February. I still remember a lot how bright in his smile and how excited he was when he finally get his first pair of white sneakers, which is specially for him only. And he is now actually a basketball team member in his local school and has been representing his schools in joining different competition. So in hindsight, our project is not at all perfect, but as a fortune cookie once told me, life is not a struggle, it's a wiggle. So just like a small gift of a white pair of sneakers can help a child wiggle through their childhood, what we are proposing now is just a small act. It's just a beginning. And 1 pair of shoes may build a child's childhood, but with many, we believe we can build a community. Thank you.
The presentation has now ended. We will begin the question and answer period. Judges, do you have any questions?
Hi. I have one question. What is your expectation when the sneakers come out of the pool or recycling? What do you expect to do with them?
So we're totally aware that we currently our position is to try to expand the lifespan of the shoes, because we're aware of that. Hong Kong people love shoes, but they often throw away once the sizes do not match. So what we're trying is we want to utilize the existing resources. So right now we're focusing on that, and our next step is to try to recycle the shoes, because as we said, the shoes production process is very long and it is very environmentally damaging. But at the same time, the technology we require to decompose and also to recycle the shoes is very high. So that would be our next step. But our first step is to focus on the current resources that we have.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
You mentioned a lot of partnerships in the future. So before going to the partnerships, currently as the program is currently running, how has it been the impact? Meaning how many people have been able to subscribe, or how have you seen subscriptions growing as it currently stands before the partnerships take place?
So currently we are, so first of all, thank you for a question. So currently we are partnering with 4 local schools, mainly for acquiring a subscriber. We chose school because like it is definitely the most easiest way for us to get in contact with our target audience. And currently now, without any partnership with chain retail stores or like other external corporation or parties, we have recruited 80 families, a total of 90 children, because some of them have siblings. So we have 90 children as our subscriber. And as a return, because we aim to have a one-on-one ratio, so every 1 subscriber, we want to help one children from the low-income family too. So as a total, we are now providing sneakers to 180 children in Hong Kong right now. So for partnership with like different NGOs and corporations, it will be our next step when we recruited more subscribers and reach out to corporations and see if they are possible to help us provide the pool of shoes, and so that we have more resource and more size and more like different fancy things for our subscribers and low-income families. Thank you.
Hi. I wanted to ask, do you guys have a plan for up to 5 years to expand your project? You were talking about expanding, but I felt it lacked on that part.
Yes. So currently we are using the school base as a model to recruit subscribers. So actually, the roadmap, we are trying to, first of all, because we're doing in Sha Tin district, because I live in Sha Tin district. So first of all, we'll reach to 4 schools first, and then we'll 4 each quarter. And then after we finish Sha Tin district, we'll go to different district. Because Kowloon City district and Yau Chin Mon district and North district are relatively poor places. They have a relatively wild Gini coefficient, which there's the poor, but there's also the rich. So just now I mentioned about we are utilizing the resources. So we want to utilizing the shoes that the rich people do not want, and then we give it and we distribute it to the poor people. Yeah, so this is our plan, but we know that it is because partnership varies, because so you can say that we do not have a plan, but this is currently our roadmap for the next 5 years.
Thank you.
The time has expired. Judges, please join me thanking the team of China
Thank
for the
you.
presentation and hard work.
Judges, please help me welcome the team of Zimbabwe. They will be presenting using a pre-recorded video. One minute for the presentation to begin. The presentation may now begin.
Imagine solving that problem that you think is minor. How many lives would you have saved? Do you think you're going to solve it for free? I beg to differ. Now think of the devastating effects of plastic on land, water, and on humans. Hectares of land wasted through the creation of dam sites. In Zimbabwe, hundreds of care could die in a year. Hectares of crops. Imagine solving that problem that you think is minor. How many lives would you have saved? Do you think you're going to solve it for free? I beg to differ. Now think of the devastating effects of plastic on land, water, and on humans. Hectares of land wasted through the creation of dam sites. In Zimbabwe, hundreds of care could die in a year. Hectares of crops wilt and wither. The reason being plastic waste. The ZimVac 2021 survey reported that due to low crop yields, 95% of households, they depend on food aid from organizations.
Communities that rely on agriculture in Matabeleland, with Lupane district included, have been affected by low yields, with plastic waste as the major contributor. With the current COVID-19 pandemic, the livelihood situation and food security in rural areas has been adversely affected. The lack of remittances have alarmingly increased the margin of food insecurity during the course of the pandemic. Subsequently, communities are resorting to negative coping mechanisms such as transactional sex and child marriages, among others.
In partnership with a number of local organizations, we, the Ammonites, carried out a survey using observations, focus groups, and secondary data sources to find out the root problems affecting the communities. The community members highlighted that Lupane district is in the semi-arid region and rainfall is insufficient, exacerbated by leaching soils, making it difficult to farm. Fertilizers are a temporary solution as they temper soil quality and nutrients and tend to be relatively expensive.
Faced with a plastic waste problem in Lupane, coupled with poor soils and intermittent rainfall patterns, we as the Ammonites are of the mind that each threat presents us with an opportunity to express intellectual skills and come up with lasting and sustainable solutions. Solutions that give rise to business opportunities. And as such, we have come up with a product that will transform the outlook of families, a product that is there to preserve a nation and secure a generation.
Our product and solution is called the Fertilizer. Yes, PET-lizer. The Fertilizer is our new product, which is an organic and nature-friendly fertilizer made from decomposed waste. Many of you may see this as a myth, but our scientific research has proven otherwise. The process of making fertilizer is one that needs a great deal of expertise, and we as the Ammonites, it is what we do best. We think in other terms. The process of making fertilizer begins with first understanding the materials that we are dealing with.
64% of the plastic waste in Lupane district is from PET bottles. We partnered with the Lupane Women's Center in collection of the plastic bottle waste. The plastic texture of PET bottles is one that is not easily degradable. As such, we had to change the tensile structure of the PET bottle by remaking them into a decomposable type of plastic. This was achieved through the use of a plastic smelter from which we managed to smelt the PET bottles. Then, the smelted plastic was then taken through a process of remaking from which it emerged lighter and granular through weaving.
The making of Fertilizer began with a team of scientists investigating on the degradability of plastic. The breakthrough was made when they discovered an artificial plastoenzyme that could partially degrade plastic, and that became our cutting-edge discovery, which guarantees our sales. The greater wax moth is a pest for apiculture farmers. We worked closely with Bees Honey Company, which majors in apiculture, to supply us with the plastoenzyme. After acclimatization, the plastoenzyme was added to the woven plastic for further breaking down.
After a minimum of 10 hours, yes, 10 hours, 100 kg of PET bottles will now have less tensile strength, making it degradable in natural ways. The plastic is then torn apart and 3% of it is mixed with manure and Galeria mellonella worms, or the greater wax moth in its larval stage, which have the microbial symbionts to produce 10 kg of fertilizer. The microbes will then die and leave liquid and solid biomass, which can be used as a fertilizer and biogas, which can be further separated into methane and carbon dioxide. This is a well-known process called vermiculture, but its ability to decompose plastic waste makes it unique. The artificial enzymes used are our cutting-edge technology, which makes it worthwhile. Because of such, it has remained our secret ingredient to the production process of fertilizer. Due to its natural process, the eco-friendly aspect has been well established as the elements are mostly natural. 100 kg of PET bottles will produce at least 330 kg of fertilizer.
The fertilizer's chemical composition was determined by testing the end product in a lab. It was discovered that the fertilizer had 16% more nitrogen than the normal fertilizer, which is ideal in plant growth. Though there were some sulfur traces in the soil, it was so minimal to pose an effect on the growth of the plant. This was evident as the crops that were planted on the soil which had fertilizer applied to it, they flourished compared to that of the control, which had no fertilizer applied on it.
From our control garden, our test crop of Chemolia yielded 30% faster germination rate and 23% faster growth rate. Our critical argument comes to a point that we managed to create employment, reduce plastic waste, go green, reduce hunger, create a decent living, and in all that doing, achieve our entrepreneurial goal.
Our total cost of production per 100 kilograms of fertilizer was broken down as follows. Waste collection was $20, being the payment for lunch for 5 homeless kids who helped in the collection. A transport cost of $15. Galeria melonella worms cost $5 per tin with 100 worms. Vermicompost was free from the LSU dining hall. Packaging was at a cost of 50 cents per 10 kilograms of environmentally friendly packaging, and that's 10 packs, which cost us $5.
To date, our organization has managed to sell 350 kilograms from 210 sales of fertilizer at a 30% markup on cost. Our gross profit was $204.75 and a net profit of $849. Our 10 kg bag of fertilizer is $3.50 cheaper than the ordinary compound defertilizer of the same size. From inception, we have managed to directly impact approximately 260 people through financial literacy and livelihoods training.
The story of Mrs. Dube is one that shows that lives have been transformed. She's not only happy for the eradication of plastic waste, but also the milestones she has reached because of the transformation of plastic waste into something agriculturally productive in a life which has been made extra easy as she is more financially stable to take care of her family and loved ones. And she sees a clean community, a clean country, a clean continent, a clean world, also safeguard from famine for many generations to come.
Sonke nje sisifuna into le kuthiwa yi-fertilizer because ikhanya isebenzela kahle. Into nje i-fertilizer esenzele nje kwaba le difference, kwaba lo mahluko. Ingadi leyi ngencedisa i-community, nge-community, ama-members e-community khona lapha kulabo gogo, kulabo khulu, kulabo mama abatsha abangangami and so forth. So ngento le fertilizer ngibona ngani nxa singayithola sibili kahle kahle ingadi yethu yonke leyo ngibona ngani kungaba kuhle kakhulu and isisebenzele kahle mina. Isincedisa kakhulu emhlabathini wethu, emalini iyasincedisa kakhulu. Sibhenefite kakhulu because vele impilo esiyiphilayo esimele sisave. Sijabulele kakhulu because into eyenziwa ngabantwana abasakhulayo. Njalo kuya-experimentile ngento zabo. I-fertilizer yabo leyo kuthiwa yenziwe ngamaplastiki. Asazi ukuthi bayenze njani ngamaplastiki ngenye yezinto lathi esethu sileyo kodwa at the same time sajabula ngoba isenzele kahle. Abantwana laba sibafisela inhlanhla ukubana le into abayiqalileyo abaqhubeke besiya phambili.
I am Ayanda Jele and I represent Life on Land.
I am Koslamandla Kunene and I represent Zero Hunger.
I am Bunake Kaite and I represent Decent Work and Economic Growth.
I am Farai Mapuvire and I represent Climate Action.
If this is not economic, innovative, saleable, and sustainable,
then nothing is. We are Enectus Zimbabwe.
Hello. My question for you is, you mentioned that the collection of garbage was done in the current one that you did was with some children. In the long term, what is your plan for continuing to collect garbage to conduct the fertilization?
The question again, we didn't question.
In the long plan, will you and how would you plan for that?
Sorry again, ma'am. In the long run, how do you plan for what? Yes. Sorry, excuse me, ma'am. We didn't get the question probably due to poor network. We're waiting for you to come again so we can respond.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can now.
Okay, my question was that you mentioned that some children participated helping collect the plastics. In the long term, how will you be collecting the plastics? What is the plan?
Now, in the long term, we're going to be mobilizing the whole community as a whole to collect the plastic. We'll be engaging different institutions to get plastic together, but the kids will be a main focus for us because that's the best way that can impact the community. Did you get the response?
Hi. What inspired you guys to choose fertilization as your project?
Sorry, may you kindly come again?
Okay. What inspired you guys to choose your project versus another one? You talked about
Okay, so-
fertilization.
Okay, when looking at our community, it is one that has intermittent rainfall. So we looked at a solution that would help the community improve livelihoods through farming, which is the main focus and the primary source of livelihoods in the community. So when we looked at the problem that was majorly faced by the community, which is plastic, and also has a huge impact on the community, we looked at how best we can use that in an environmentally friendly way while reducing cost and impacting the community, and at the same time improving the livelihoods for the better.
Thank you.
Time has expired. Judges, please join me thanking Enactus Zimbabwe for their presentation and hard work. Judges, please help me welcome the team from Ireland. They're presenting in person today.
Is it on? Oh, it is. There he is.
As we'd be locked in our rooms most of the
1
time.
minute before the presentation begins.
UCC, 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 UCC. I just gotta get the tree nurse out, you know? Let that out. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. You gotta go.
Building the robot was really fun and interesting.
The presentation may now begin.
Across the Atlantic Ocean from Puerto Rico is the similar island of Ireland. Both islands are lands of great beauty, friendly people, and lush green environments. However, we are also fighting social and environmental problems that demand swift change. We'd like to present 2 of our 4 projects, Reframe and Kangol, that target a variety of these problems. Diagwit, Hazel Sanam Dum.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sam.
Ni hao, wadaminza shur nasa.
Hola, mi nombre es Michelle.
We are Team Ireland. I'd like to introduce you to Suzanne, a mother of 2 beautiful daughters who all now live in Ireland. She's originally from Albania, but due to rampant corruption within her home country, the extremely high cost of living, and no employment opportunities, she's had to escape in order to be able to provide for her family. In Ireland, she requested asylum and formed a deep friendship and community with other women who have been through similar difficulty. Some of these women have been through strife, hunger, and even war. All of them are now looking to rebuild their lives to be able to provide for their children and families.
4 years ago, Team Ireland started a project called Kangol to work with these resilient and hardworking refugees. Currently, Kangol has 3 distinct parts. And the first is our entrepreneurial activities. This part started when, 2 years ago, some of the Kangol members had a meeting with Suzanne that would change the direction of the project forever. Suzanne expressed a deep desire within her community to upskill by learning practical product making and entrepreneurial skills. They wanted independence and their own income.
Team Ireland were delighted to accept this request, completed a needs assessment, and created a functional business plan. For market analysis, Kangol showed Suzanne that the candle market is a $9.2 billion industry, with growing rates of 6.6% year on year. This is primarily fueled by candles being an easy gift for any occasion, and the incorporation of candles as a focal point in home decor, with customers focusing demand on organic scented candles. Kangol and Suzanne saw candles as a burgeoning market, with a product that could be made with little to no experience. Kangol provided the materials and training via workshops, and Suzanne and her friends provided the immense dedication and a real Oireachtas can-do attitude.
Suzanne and her team handmade the Kangol scented candles, and we later expanded to include accompanying lip balms. These products were then sold by students in local markets. And these products are made from materials that are high quality and environmentally friendly. The cost of materials for each candle is $5.50. This is reflected in the price of the candle, which each one is sold for $13. A further $5 from that price goes directly to paying a fair wage to the women who manufactured the candle. And the remaining $2.50 goes directly to growing the business. As for the lip balms, we charge each for the price of $5. $2.50 is the cost of production, and a further $1 goes towards furthering the business growth.
The purchase made by the customer directly helps Suzanne and her community. Purchase made by the customer directly helps Suzanne and her community. This year, we sold 242 units, resulting in $3,039 in sales revenue. Kangol's second initiative is equipment reuse. We partner with Qualcomm, an American multinational semiconductor company. Our team facilitates the donation of 40 laptops and 19 TVs, costing approximately $58,000 from Qualcomm to Suzanne's community. Such laptops are perfect for students to do schoolwork, and TVs that are ideal for bringing a community together for a presentation or a candle making workshop.
Kangol's third initiative is education. After Suzanne highlighted how her and her friends' children lacked exposure to educational and career opportunities, Kangol and Qualcomm saw we could fix this. And so for a week, 20 children from Suzanne's community came to Qualcomm to showcase how they too could one day work in a multinational company. They received amazing workshops and presentations, but most importantly, got to build their own robotics project. This sparks an interest in education like science and engineering. Here you can listen to some fantastic testimonials we've received this year through all of Kangol's activities.
Now I know how to make candles and lip balms. This helped a lot during the pandemic, as we'd be locked in our rooms most of the time, and making candles was something to take our minds off the daily life of the pandemic, which affected everyone, moreover those living in direct provision.
Building the robot was really fun and interesting. I definitely want to learn more about this industry and possibly work in it when I'm older.
This workshop is very useful because it builds my confidence and helps me to understand that I can do something useful that will increase my income. It also helps me to socialize with people while discussing and making candles.
The Qualcomm donated laptops were amazing and really helped having to do school online during the COVID pandemic. I would have had no alternative, or I would have had to use my phone.
Kangol is a project that sells candles and lip balms, but is also a facilitator of opportunity for the disadvantaged like Suzanne and her community. This year, we received fantastic mentoring and seed funding from Citibank, finally allowing the project to reach its ultimate goal of outgrowing Oireachtas. We are proud to say that since June, the project has been handed over to the women and Suzanne in their working group, who are continuing Kangol's operations, organizing stalls and selling candles. Kangol is now a fully independent enterprise run by those who we were initially looking to impact. After a few years of direct partnership, we are now taking an advisory role and continuing our relationship with the women in different ways, all thanks to Kangol.
Next up, we'd like to introduce our award-winning project, Reframe. This is a team of entrepreneurs with a passion for sustainability and recycling. The team did a needs assessment on the global plastic waste crisis, and the statistics we found were shocking. Did you know that on average, globally, only 13% of plastic gets recycled? 91% of plastic created has never been recycled. The thing is, plastic is extremely useful, but it's also a curse. Plastic that is incinerated releases dangerous chemicals into the atmosphere, contributing to air pollution. The alternative is landfill. However, most plastics don't biodegrade. Bottle caps, for example, take 450 years to decompose. In our research, we found that there was one major hurdle to increasing plastic recycling. Plastic, once used, has a negative value. It is a capital expense to recycle it and using it again, making it more expensive to recycle, making it cheaper just to incinerate it. The financial incentive to recycle just isn't there.
However, we felt we could create that incentive by turning waste plastic into valuable products. Our initial concept was to remold plastic into a bike frame, creating a new form of sustainable transport. However, talks with machinists showed that this would need a large capital investment. So we pivoted, we scaled down and we innovated. We reduced the cost in the molding process and we created our very own cruiser skateboard. We successfully validated the minimum viable product and tested the product with our target market. In our market analysis, we found the global skateboard market was worth $2 billion in 2020, rising at a CAGR of 3.1%. This is due to a new golden age of skateboarding, brought on by social media promoting the sport to young kids, especially young girls. And its addition as an Olympic sport makes it a market with growing demand.
Our skateboard is not about doing tricks. Our cruiser is designed for ease of transport, targeted towards commuting students and young professionals looking for a great alternative to short distance transport. It provides an affordable source of exercise while also allowing the consumer to relish in the fact that they're taking plastic out of the environment. Our skateboards are made from 100% recycled plastic sourced from our university campus and its surrounding communities. Our own team of engineers design and manufacture the skateboard using compression molding. And we are proud that unlike other processes, ours does not create any microplastic byproduct. We've researched the patent landscape and we believe our manufacturing methodology and its application is novel, with several IP protection options which we are currently exploring. Once safety certification is achieved, we aim to protect our methodology and make it available for licensing to other skateboard manufacturers.
The skateboard retails for about $99.99 to the customer, and we wholesale to the retailer for $65. Electrical, tooling, labor, and the trucks cost us approximately $40, creating a healthy profit of 60%. Competitor skateboards in Ireland cost between $120 to $200, and they use maple wood, which is at risk of extinction. Traditional skateboard manufacturing methods directly contribute to maple deforestation, directly harming local plant and animal populations. We've already received a letter of intent with a popular skateboard retailer in Ireland who's excited to stock our product. Our innovative plastic product receives a competitive advantage that no other wooden manufacturer can enjoy. Our skateboards are recyclable.
Picture our customer Jane, who is out riding her skateboard. What happens if it gets damaged? Well, no worries, she sends it back to us and we remold it into a brand new skateboard for a fee of $25. Now, this innovative business model gives us a profit margin of 50% and recurring revenue from loyal customers like Jane, who can easily wear out a new skateboard deck within just a couple of months. It also allows Jane the opportunity to recycle her skateboard anew instead of having to buy a new, more expensive board. And we are also so excited to announce that our award-winning Reframe has recently secured an impending investment from a private investor to the total of $50,000. This will be used to expand our manufacturing process. We are so excited to work with them and we are finalizing the details of this agreement shortly.
In early October, we launched a product drop of 20 skateboards, selling out within a week. So far this year, Reframe has sold 35 products. And over the course of next year, our sales forecast is 300 skateboards, bringing in a total revenue of $25,400. Our skateboards provide the long-term impact of adding value to plastic waste and also providing the consumer with a sustainable, healthy, and affordable alternative to short distance travel.
This is how at Team Ireland we demonstrated entrepreneurial leadership by identifying a need for educational and entrepreneurial opportunities within the refugee community, while Reframe pivoted its business model when faced with monetary hurdles. Reframe showcased innovation by engineering our own solution that gives value to waste plastic and by creating a new business model whereby the customer can recycle their product. By using business principles and leveraging relationships, Kangol created a strong business plan that has now been handed over and run independently by a group of empowered female entrepreneurs. We created a positive, sustainable impact for the planet by recycling the equivalent plastic waste generated by 1.5 people annually.
We directly impacted people by providing educational opportunities. We bolster prosperity through additional income and adding to the entrepreneurial spirit of those wishing to restart their lives. This year, we have raised a total of $138,252.93 in revenue, impending investment, and in-kind donations. We have directly impacted 202 people, and we have
The
worked with
presentation has now ended. We will begin the question and answering period. Judges, do we have any questions?
Hola, Ireland. My question for you guys is there international shipping for Reframe? And if not, do you have a 5-year plan to expand it all around the world?
Yes, so right now is that we're actually selling the skateboards to be sustainable. So we're selling them on our university campus. So that helps with the CO2 emissions that we would be creating. The market for Europe and even America is a huge potential for skateboards and even more products that we can make with the same process for recycling. Right now, we're researching and making sure our process is 100% right to make sure that our sustainability is kept to basically having zero emissions, and it keeps in with what our mission and our goals are with the products. But we are definitely looking to expand them to greater markets because that's where the potential even greater for this business is. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi. Are you planning to do anything else other than skateboards? Is your plan including other products?
Yes, so we've recently been looking at all the different types of plastic. So as you may know, there's 8 different types of plastic. One of those examples is HDPE, which is what we use here. Another type of plastic is called LDPE, and that is what you use in your plastic bags. It's like slightly stretchy material. And we have found ways that we can use a similar process in heat molding and heat kind of compression, and that then we can create a leather-like material. So there's opportunities then to involve disadvantaged groups like we did with Kangol, as we have experience in that. And I think Hazel is actually going to tell you a little bit about the disadvantaged groups that we have.
Yeah, so in Cork City, where we're from, there's a project called the Dillon Project that works with relatives, female relatives of men who are currently in Cork prison. We are hoping in the future to involve them as a disadvantaged group in Reframe and by teaching them how to make the skateboards and other products so that they have more employment opportunities, a wider range of skills so that they are less likely to end up in prison themselves, obviously, because that's a big issue for them.
So as you can see, Reframe has a huge amount of potential, and it's really about helping the environment, figuring out what kind of issues we have, the different plastics, and what we can do to save the world, really. So huge potential for Reframe's future.
Hi again. What inspired you guys to create this project?
So specifically with Reframe or with Kangol?
In general, both.
So with Reframe, as we kind of mentioned at the start of the pitch, is just The team that we had was very passionate about recycling, about sustainability, and we were looking at different angles that we could approach and help and solve that crisis. We happened to come up on an online community based around recycling, taking plastic and reusing it for other purposes, called Precious Plastic, which really allowed us to develop that idea and go like, oh, we can actually use this for physical product. That's why we initially landed with bike frames, thinking transport, something sustainable, something that doesn't contribute further CO2 to the environment. As we said, it wasn't financially viable, so we scaled down to the skateboards, and that's how
I'm
we
sorry, the time has expired. Judges, please join me thanking Enactus Ireland for their
Thank you very much.
presentation and hard work. All presentations in our league have ended. Judges, please take 5 minutes to rank the teams that presented today on the judging platform. You may drag and drop the teams in the order in which you wish to rank them, with 1 being the highest rank and 4 being the lowest. Once you do so, kindly click submit.